Griffin Reaper here at Twin Cities Peppers. It's about that time of year where our plants start winding down for the season. Freezes start to happen in the Midwest, Minnesota, where I'm from. Today's October 27th, and we've already had snow. So the plants I left outside are done. I went ahead and filmed my process of overwintering, which is a method of keeping your plants over the winter, cutting them down to a smaller size, putting them in a smaller pot with fresh soil, ensuring there's no bugs or anything on there before you bring them inside, and then giving them limited light, or however much light you want to, really, depending on how much you want them to grow inside. I typically don't want them to really grow and thrive inside, so I'm just kind of keeping it at a limited light schedule in my tent. But yeah, it's fairly simple. Today I'm going to show you guys how to do that. What you're going to need is another pot. I got these on Amazon. These are the 5 gallons, but I use 3 gallons. You can get about 10 of them for, I don't know, $15, I think. So not a bad option. So I like these fabric pots. It lets the roots breathe and doesn't allow them to get root bound. What happens with these fabric pots, the root actually grows out uniform and hits the edge of the pot, and it feels the air, so that makes the root stop growing, and then it branches out like a tree would, like branches on a tree. Basically cauterizes it at the point that it hits the edge of the pot and feels air, and then branches out in uniform manner, so it doesn't get root bound, as opposed to plastic, where it's going to hit the edge of the container and just loop itself because it has no air, nothing to tell it to stop growing. So air pruning the root zone is what these things do, and that's why I use fabric pots. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys kind of what I do outside. I did take a video of it earlier. I did this about 3 weeks ago, so I hope you guys can get something from it and enjoy my video. Okay guys, here's the Griffin Reaper. So I'm going to keep this one. I've already picked off most of the peppers on there. We'll put these in a paper bag and allow them to ripen up on the branch. So here, let's get going with this and show you how I do it. So yes, I've worked very hard on these plants, and yes, this is a really sucky time for me. I hate doing this. I really hate doing this, but in the long run, this thing's going to be better off next year, and we're going to be able to get some get a head start on the season next year with this plant. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove all these stakes here that are supporting all these branches. And here comes the tough part. Well, not tough, not tough in the sense of being hard to do, but tough in the sense of being hard to do because I've worked so hard on these things. So remove all these stakes here. And in a couple minutes, this thing is going to be a skeleton of what it is now. Really, I hate doing this, but here we go. So, you look at down here, you see all these shoots coming up. We're gonna look to see where there's like smaller growth happening. I'm gonna cut right here. I'm gonna probably end up fast forwarding this so you guys can see how I do it, but here we go. And you guys, I'm gonna cut everything so that we have some nodes left. So nodes are these guys here, 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 here. Anything that kind of makes a Y is a node. So a potential branch can grow out anywhere that a leaf's coming off, or anywhere it needs Ys, they can come out there. So we want a couple of leaves on there still. We want to have a few leaves so they can get some photosynthesis going.
to get it started in its new pot. So I'm gonna keep going here. All right, guys, so let me show you kind of what I've done here. About 5 minutes ago, this was a bigger plant. Now, what we got is a smaller plant. This is still quite a bit of leaves on here. I'm gonna kind of go through and kind of trim this up a little bit more once I get it into the new pot. But yeah, let's get this into a new pot. So for the pots that I chose, I'm just doing a 1 gallon, or I don't know, I think it's no, 3 gallon pots. So 3 gallon pots are my preferred size. You guys can do bigger or smaller, whatever you feel like, but I'm gonna do the 3 gallon pot here. And I choose definitely, I do fabric pots. That's all I use. And then you want a good potting soil, so something like Ocean Forest, Fox Farms. It's a little bit expensive, but it's going to really keep your plant healthy throughout the winter, and give it the nutrients it needs to survive until next season. So how I do this, I have my handy dandy knife that I use for cutting all my peppers, and I actually using this to kind of cut around the root ball about 4 inches out all the way around, 5 inches out all the way around, and then pull that thing out. And let's get going on that here real quick so I can show you what's up. This is kind of hard to do with so we do have some worms in here. Can't really avoid cutting those things, but here we go. Kind of like carving a pumpkin. You open up the top. 'Tis that time of year, so might as well get some practice before you're actually carving pumpkins, right? So I've cut around that. Now I'm gonna pull it out as best as I can. And there you have it. So we've made the root ball a lot smaller by doing that, so I can fit into our new pot. In here, I'm going to take it over to my washing station, set it on the ground there. Make sure you're rinsing them off really good. Any potential pests, anything along those lines, you got to make sure you're not bringing inside. So I like to give it a real good wash here, and then flip it over, do the other side. Wash that side, flip it over, the other side. Plan as well. What we're doing here, we're removing any bugs or pests or hitchhikers of any sort that could potentially get on, come inside and reproduce and cause massive problems for your indoor grow room. So make sure you get that very clean. Yes, this is going to stress the plant out, obviously, but there we have it. Here is my Griffin Reaper. what was just a not so thriving plant anymore is now gonna be ready for overwintering. Right here is my Fox Farm Ocean Forest. Here's a 3-gallon, I believe, fabric pot. Amazon, you can find these, lots of them. I can post a link in the description for the ones I have if you guys want to use these. Take my container here. I like to just kind of get a little bit in the base of these things. I like to get a little bit of potting soil on the base of these just to kind of hold its shape, and then I'll pour it in from there. So get some in the base of that, and then pour some of that in there. About 3/4 of the way full for now. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna create kind of a crater here, like you would just be planting a plant, nothing different. Create a crater here. And you know, guys, I gotta be honest with you, this is the one time that I will use a non-organic pesticide to get rid of pests. You know, I don't pride myself on it, but if I'm gonna have these inside next to my seedlings that I'm gonna be doing for next year, I wanna make sure that I'm not bringing any spider mites or anything in there, because that'll wreck everything for me. So this is Talstar P mixed at 0.1 fluid ounce per quart. So that's what I have here. I have a quart, and what I'm going to do, give the root ball just minor couple sprays. That's it. And then I'll spray down the canopy. And you guys, yeah, I know it's taboo for organic gardeners, but that is literally the only time that I will use anything that is not organic, just because I want to make damn sure I'm not bringing anything inside. So with that being said, sorry if I let some of you guys down by my non-organic methods, but that's just what I got to do. So I'm going to set that in there, dig it down in there, cover it up a little bit, and what I'm going to do, hit my potting soil, just nice and easy, pour some of that. Over the top. I'm not worried about getting the plant dirty, obviously. Stand it up straight, kind of work that stuff in and around the root ball, and push down on that, kind of give it a nice firm base. And I'm going to add a little bit more. For good measures. Give it a nice little pat. Make sure it's straight up and down. Here's where I'll spray off any dirt, and then give it a nice water. Just want to make sure I'm spraying underneath, on top, underneath. And I'll let that dry, and then I'll come and hit the canopy with this. What this will do is just eliminate anything. So, you know, part of the reason I do organic is because I don't want to kill any micro organisms that are in the soil. But in this case, you know, I'm kind of just weighing the pros and the cons here, and you know, this is what I found to work. So I'm going to give that canopy a nice spray, and then give the top of the soil a nice little spray of that, and then around the outside of the pot as well. So you guys, this is my method. This is kind of how I do it. I'll give you guys some updates later on. Yeah, and also, this is also quite a bit of foliage on here. I'm actually gonna trim up a little bit more of this. So yeah, this is quite a bit of foliage on here. I'll get rid of some of these bigger guys, and then get rid of that. Get rid of some of these newer sprouts here. Get rid of that. 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 Just leave a few leaves on there, you guys, just so it can do some photosynthesis. And yeah, that's about it. And here in a couple weeks, I'll go ahead and give you guys another update on how these are doing. All right, guys. So it's been about 2.5 weeks now since I transplanted these into their new containers for the winter, and I'm going to show you guys kind of how they're doing. They're doing really well, and yeah, no pests yet or anything. So really happy with how these are doing, and yeah, let's just take a look here real quick. So here's my TS Maruga Yellow Times Yellow Brain strain. You can see this one's doing really well. It's got a bunch of sprouts everywhere. That's exactly what you want to see. Yeah, you can kind of just look all around and see all these sprouts coming up. I'm gonna kind of give them a generous light cycle for the first few weeks, just so I can get accustomed to the new environment, and then I'm gonna cut the light probably in half or even more, just to give them enough light to get by, and kind of put them in a dormant state. So you can see all of these are really starting to just kind of get more growth on there, which is exactly what you want to see. And there's Shiloh. I got him a little bed in here so he can come hang out with me while I'm doing my gardening stuff and hanging out. So yeah, you guys, thanks for watching, and if you guys like this video and find it useful, I'd really appreciate it if you guys would like and then comment and subscribe. Maybe hit that the bell notification button so you guys can be notified when I put new videos up, new content. Wanted to get this video out so that some of you guys can make use of it this year. It might be a little bit late for some of you guys, but I'm sure some of the states down south and stuff haven't froze yet. So I hope some of you guys can use this to your advantage and kind of have this method of keeping your plants, which is really helpful to get a jump start on next season. So appreciate you guys watching. Again, please like, comment, subscribe. It would really help me.